Morning! I am running to Home Depot real quick for a couple of supplies that I'm running low of, and then I am going to be working in the garage at home on the bike build, and I'm gonna show you guys what I'm gonna do. All right, I am back for the bike build. This is something I have been thinking about for a long time. A while back, and when I say a while back, I mean a while back, we were walking through, and I'm a people watcher. I enjoy going shopping with my wife and just looking at people and laughing and carrying on. So you get it. I noticed some of the girls wearing handbags or purses that were made of clear vinyl so you could see through the purse and what's inside the bag. And the more and more I saw those, the more and more I got thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? That would be cool to do some saddlebags. So I'm going to make see-through saddlebags for the bike build this year. I really went back and forth on telling you guys this because of the fact that I really wasn't sure if I was going to attempt it, but the more and more I got thinking about it, the more and more I think it's going to be cool. This is going to be one of those bikes. This bike build, I've already got it in my head that this bike build is going to be one of those things you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. There's not going to be anything in between. Just because of the loud paint job I'm going to put on this thing, the color combination I'm doing with it, and now that I've decided to do the see-through saddlebags and tour pack, not just saddlebags, I'm going to do the tour pack as well. I feel this is going to be a bike you're either going to absolutely love it or you're going to absolutely hate it. There's not going to be anything in between. It's different. I have never seen see-through saddlebags before in my life. I can't be the only idiot that's thought about this, but I'm going to attempt it. Now, as far as the tour pack, you see the line here? That's going to be roughly the opening. I'm going to cut an opening in there and fiberglass, a piece of plexiglass in there on both sides, and I'm going to attempt to do the back. As far as the saddlebags, I'm going to put a piece of plexiglass in right here, possibly right here. I'm thinking about doing the top, but this is the hard part. Hang on. The inside of the saddlebag. The whole purpose of me wanting to do this is so you can look through the saddlebag and see the back wheel. That was my intention. That's like my whole... I've been staying awake at nights. I've had a lot of sleepless nights just bouncing this around in my head. And originally I was going to do small windows in the back, like right here. But the more and more I got thinking about it, why don't we do it all? I did a little research. Plexiglass will bend and form at 350 degrees. So my thought process is, before I cut the saddlebag out, I'm going to cut a sheet of plexiglass, and then we're going to lay a weight on it right here to hold it in place, and I'm going to heat this part of the plexiglass to conform the bend, and then heat it here and bend it this way, and I'm going to attempt to make this a window. Should work, right? You hope? We'll see. And I figured, you know, I'm going to bring you guys along with me with this journey so you can actually watch me screw up a set of saddlebags. Because I've already told the wife, in my head, I'm going to screw up a set of saddlebags. We're going to have to buy a set of saddlebags for this bike because I'm probably going to mess them up. But we'll see. Another problem I'm having that's bouncing around in my head, plexiglass is a construction material. I was in the construction industry for a while. I get it. What you guys might not realize is, because plexiglass is a construction material, it's like vinyl siding. With the heat and the cold, it expands and contracts. The problem I'm going to have with this is, if it gets hot out or cold out or whatever, there's a chance it could warp. It could expand and warp. And because I'm fiberglassing this stuff into the saddlebag to make it weatherproof, there's a chance that it's going to expand in the heat and warp. I know if I use thicker fiberglass, there's less likely chance of that to happen, which I plan on putting thicker fiberglass in the back, in the outsides of it. But in order to get this bend that I want, I feel I have to use a little bit thinner fiberglass. And who knows, maybe, I've never done this before, so maybe I can use the thicker fiberglass once I figure out how exactly I want to do it. Does that make sense? Like I said, I was going to keep this one a big secret and just unveil it at the Wild Stallion motorcycle build with the see-through saddlebags and, you know, kind of get the wow factor. But the more and more I got thinking about it, it's like I told the wife, I'm going to do a video on this because I'm not going to get it all done in this one video. I'm not a fiberglass guy. Never dealt with fiberglass in my life, but I figured if I do a video like this and show you guys what I'm doing, maybe somebody out there who has fiberglass experience can give me some pointers on what I'm doing wrong, what I'm doing right, if I'm an idiot, if I'm not an idiot, you know, maybe. You guys got to tell me what you think. My envision, I guess the best way to do it on how I'm going to do this, once I get fiberglass formed to this like I want, I'm going to epoxy, like either I'm going to epoxy 2 corners, opposite corners, just to hold it in place, or I'm going to epoxy all 4 corners and then fiberglass. I'm going to make the window bigger than what it actually is so I can fiberglass over it a little bit and then sand it smooth so it looks like it's part of the saddlebag. That's my envision. Whether it happens or not, it's a whole different program. On the high side saddlebag, I have a little bit more of an issue because of the fact that this is a 91, so your battery is right here, and the saddlebag conforms around to the battery. I don't want to see the battery, so I'm going to go from, this side will have a smaller window on the inside. But in theory, you should be able to bend down like this and look right through the saddlebag, look right through that tire, and look right through the other side of the saddlebag and see over there, in theory. Same thing with the tour pack. You should be able to look right through here and see what's over there, in theory. Alright, we got moment of truth here. I removed the protective film across from the acrylic because everything I'm reading online says you need to. And it should be about 350 degrees before it starts to form and shape. We're going to try this. At this point, the only thing I'm going to mess up is a piece of acrylic glass. That's it. It is bending, but I'm finding myself I need a third hand. So I'm going to try and find a weight to put on here so I can hold pressure down on that. Maybe I'll get a clamp. I'll clamp that, I think. It is working. I need to heat it some more and get it to shape, like contour a little more. But that's what I want. I am liking this. Maybe if I clamp it here as well, it'll hold it down, and then I can add more heat to that curve. I gotta find more clamps. I've got clamps around here somewhere. I just don't know where they're at. You guys don't realize how excited I am about this, that this is contouring like it is. There's a little bit of a bump there where I think I pushed a little too hard, but I think with heat that'll come back out. I'm hoping. I gotta cut my angle here and then put this back on, trace out the opening for the fiberglass, and cut the saddlebag. Let me get this taken care of and we'll cut the saddlebag. Okay, no turning back now. I underestimated the dust. But there we go. Cool. Like a glove. Look at that. So I'll epoxy the corners. Once the epoxy dries, then we'll fiberglass. We'll tape this off, fiberglass this in, get it sanded smooth, and it'll be ready for paint. I know, I should have done this the first time. I'm kind of having reservations whether or not I should do this one. in the back. I don't know. It would really be different. People behind you would stop and do the, huh? I don't know. I'm wondering if maybe I ought to leave the back just for structural integrity. The bag doesn't feel, you know, like loose at all. I left it about 1.5 inches here, all the way around there, which I did on the inside as well. The inside of the bag, I haven't decided what we're going to do yet. It's definitely going to get painted. Whether or not it gets a liner put in it or painted, something's going to happen to the inside of the bag. I just don't know what yet. But I don't know if I should do that back or not. I'm going back and forth on it. Now if I do the top of the lid, like kind of where the dust outline is, you can see where there will be a window and a window. It would kind of look good from standing behind it, looking on with a window. I might do it. I think I might do it. How you like that? So what we need to do now is I've got to cut a piece of plexiglass for this and a piece for this. I have these two side pieces done already. And sand this down. We got to get this sanded down so fiberglass would stick to it. Get it roughed up, get it sanded down, and I have to replicate this on this saddlebag, and that I think is going to be like the hardest part. I might be able to take my pieces, such as the lid, and set it on that one and trace it, and then it's relatively close. But I want to get this cut out, this saddlebag cut out while I'm still dusty and like, look at this. Never mind. And I do have to, on the lid, see the contour? I am going to have to shape the acrylic for the lid. This piece and this piece are flat, just flat pieces. That's good. So technically there's only 2 acrylic shaping spots. I probably should have shaped this beforehand, but I got rambunctious. Alright, I'm going to set you guys down, work on that other saddlebag, and then get these pieces cut, these acrylic pieces cut, formed and shaped. That way I can get this sanded, get them epoxied in place. That way the epoxy will dry, and then the next time I come out and work on this, I'll be doing fiberglass work. At least that's my goal. Alright, I have the windows taped in. See? They're all taped in now. It's time to now I'm going to put epoxy right on the 4 corners. just to hold them in place. When that epoxy dries, then I'm going to start fiberglassing them in. I don't know if I'll fiberglass today. It's starting to get a little late, so I might wait till another day to do some fiberglassing, but I think they're going to look good. I think this thing's going to be sharp looking. Again, I think it's going to be one of those things. You're going to love this thing or hate this thing. There's going to be no in between. Alrighty. See-through saddlebags are now drying. And once they dry, then I can kind of sand the rough edge of the epoxy off and start fiberglassing them in. I'm going to tape the actual glass off itself. That way, you know, I have about that much of fiberglass and blend it into the bags. But there you have it. See-through saddlebags. That's going to be on the bike build for Wild Stallion Motorcycle Build Contest. It's hopefully going to be unique. I've never seen them before. Alright guys, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.